That's how we own it.
What's up, family? It's your girl, Tamika D. Mallory.
And it's your boy, my son, the general.
And we're your hosts of Street Politicians, the place where the streets and politics meet. What's going on, my son? What's my name, my son?
Oh, man, your name is Tamika D. Mallory.
No, that's not my name. My name is Grandmama T.
Oh, that's right. Grandmama T. Grandmama T, how you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
I guess and that means I'm G-Pop.
Well, you G-Pop. That's it. That's our new names, Grandmama T and G-Pop.
G-Pop.
We in the building.
In the building. What's going on with you, man? It's been, oh my God.
I think that I was gonna suggest that for today, since there's so much to be said before we bring our incredible guest, I'm really inspired by the guest that we are going to have on today, that we should really spend some time just kind of talking about so much of the things that's been happening in the online. I don't even know if it's just the media. It's like at this point, people are creating their own media. And so, you know, I've just figured we could maybe do that, and I would forego my thought of the day, although all of it is like it's not even the thought of the day. It's now thoughts of a month. And every day, it seems like it's been one day for an entire month of stuff that has been, you know, just very, very troubling. And I guess I'll start off just by saying that while I am still very, very much so concerned about Kanye, or Ye, excuse me, I want to be respectful because he did mention in an interview that I saw that he changed his name and he would appreciate if people call him his name. And I think that's right. So even though, you know, it's like Puff's changed his name a million times and I still call him Puff, and he, you know, that's it. So it's just, you know, sometimes you get attached to something, but want to be respectful. And so, Ye, he, you know, I'm still very much so concerned about his mental health, because I feel like whatever we want to say about the intentionality or not, and how he may or may not be being used, or how much he may know about what he's doing and all of that, still, to me, there is a sickness about anyone who chooses to be sort of anti yourself, right? Because, but for the fact that Kanye is, or Ye is who he is, if he was in the street and there was no security and he was thought to have been carrying a counterfeit bill or some other type of situation, we've seen, you know, we have a list, we could go on and on and on and on with the list of incidents that can take place. And if approached by the wrong officer at the right time, you could lose your life. That's a fact. So this is not something that we just are, you know, we're sort of dreaming up, or we're making it up, or we're dramatizing it. We have watched this happen too many times to too many of our people. And for him, who I know from Chicago, with a mother who had activism even in her blood, and understanding where Ye comes from, I know that he is very much so aware of the challenge that we as people, as Black people, and especially Black men, that they face, that you all face in society. And I think it's something wrong with a person who is, for whatever reason, willing to try to change what we saw. There is this question of, you know, that he has been posing, and I'm assuming, and I assume, I don't know, because I would never even give Candace Owens' documentary 2 seconds of my life. But it seems that at some point in this documentary, they're trying to make the case that the fentanyl that was in George Floyd's system may have been, or is, what killed him, instead of the incident that took place. And I saw someone in my comment section make a very, very important point, because Ye asked, well, who hit him with the fentanyl? All of that, all those things, who hit him with the fentanyl, whether or not he took it himself.
Let me, because I want to be very clear. He did not ask. He said, and I quote, they hit him with the fentanyl. He
Okay.
didn't ask a question. He made
So
a
then-
statement.
So
we don't
then,
want to misquote because they'll say, "Oh, you're misquoting Ye on purpose." He
Okay.
said,
So
then they hit him with the fentanyl.
then they hit him with the fentanyl. Okay, so what I was gonna say is, and fine, please correct me, because I certainly don't want to misquote him or anybody else, but all of that is theory. All of that is opinion. All of that is possibility. All of that is what we know, though, is we watched a man with his knee in his neck, compressing his body. And in fact, it was not just Derek Chauvin who was compressing George Floyd's body. At some point, the other two officers were on the other end of his body, compressing him as well. We know it, we saw it, and ain't nothing you could tell. There's no documentary that, has whatever perspective it wants to show. There's no commentary that can change what I watched too many times, over and over and over again. And moreover, none of the people who are speaking now were present. But you know who was present? The people who filmed, the person who filmed it, and other individuals who were present on the scene, and they also saw him die because someone kneeled in his neck for over 9 minutes. That we know to be true. And I guess the only thing I'll say, and then I'll kick it to you to give your perspective. I understand the need and the desire to try to defend someone that you love and that you are close to or feel close to, even when you know that some of the things that that person is doing wrong, right? We talked about last week on the show. There is a level of hypocrisy that exists in humans because it is human nature to want to protect or to stand by certain things and people, either because it's familiar to you or because you love someone or something in your culture or whatever, but it doesn't make it right. The problem with Ye and people who are attempting, people who have been or at some point were well respected in my eyes, but these last few weeks has diminished that greatly for me as it relates to some people that I really, really, really held in high regard. And what I think is it's not just troubling, it's actually disgusting that they seem to be able to speak to and about this person and say such great things and not even mention the disrespect, disregard, and the demeaning of George Floyd and what that man suffered. And many of some of the same individuals that my respect for has diminished are the same people that their platforms have grown as a result of what took place with George Floyd and how this movement began to shape around new ideas, new directions and paths for how we overcome in an oppressive and racist system. So to me, to watch folks use this as either a moment to just support someone that they feel endearing or endeared, or I don't know if that's the right word, but they feel close to for whatever reason, and or just because they want clickbait, and not to even mention the wrongdoing and to not to even understand things, how it all connects, because we did not just start here. We started at Make America Great Again, first of all, which in and of itself was a statement that meant America for white people and not for Black, brown, and others. That's what Make America Great Again was. It was to return to a time when white men were in complete power and control, and he supported that. We didn't really say much. It was whatever it was, whatever. We moved on through many other instances to White Lives Matter coming up now. And that was a direct assault, a violent assault against our movement. And now we come to you being one of those, to be an anti-Black apologist for white people who want to say that what happened to George Floyd didn't happen in the name of you trying to diminish the value of a movement that changed the world. So for me, I don't feel sorry for Ye at all. I feel concerned about his health, but I do not feel sorry for him that he is being dragged through the mud, because the way in which he is approaching all of it, everything, with the good things that he says, the things that are necessary to be talked about, as well as the unfortunate, terrible, disgusting things that he said, he put himself in this situation. He did this, not the world. He did it.
I just think for me, just watching and just paying attention and just understanding the dynamics, right? And understanding how Black men are the most targeted people in America. We're not the most, I think Black women are more hated, but I think Black men are more targeted, right? And it's hard to find spaces for Black men, right? It's hard for us to find people that we can actually aspire to be, and we don't have many of certain kinds of leaders who are in the limelight. We don't have people who actually aren't afraid to say certain things, right? So sometimes the need to feel whole, to feel present, to feel valued makes you attached to things that aren't always profitable, that aren't always beneficial to you, people who don't always have your best interest at heart, right? And I think this is what happened, right? And I think what we're seeing right now is mainly Black men's need to feel heard, need to feel represented, need to feel powerful. And Ye, even though it's misguided, even though he utilizes the power that he has wrong, even though he utilizes his Blackness only when it's beneficial to him, he represents that to some people. We live in a capitalist society. And when you have a level of money and a level of notoriety and a level of fame, people seem to deify you, right? They see you as some level of a deity. And this is what happened. We're idolizing the wrong idol. Huh?
You said they seem to see you as a what?
A deity.
What is that? I've never heard of it.
A deity is a god.
Wow. Educate me.
So they start to see you in this light. And this is what's happening. And when you couple with, we live in a capitalistic society, and you couple that with him being able to amass a certain amount of wealth, people will overlook all the bullshit that he does because he has wealth and he seems to have a voice that he doesn't care. So when you look at those things and you look at Black men's position in society and you see why they want to champion it, I understand it. But it's dangerous and it's wrong, because this is not the person to follow. This is not a strategic leader. This is a person who is emotionally destitute.
What? They tell us don't be emotional, right?
No, we have a person who has the emotional intelligence of a 5-year-old. Every time something doesn't go his way, every time he doesn't like it, we didn't choose his wife, right? We didn't sign the business deals that he did. And every time those things, right, when we told him, when people say, you know what, I don't know why you would marry the Kardashians. They don't really have a good track record, especially with Black men. I don't think most people said it didn't make sense. He disses himself from friends and everybody because they didn't agree with his relationship, right? You did that. When Sway told you, why don't you make your own business, Kanye? Like, you don't need to side with these people. Like, you got the brand, you got the name, you could do your own thing. He cursed Sway out and told him he didn't have the answers, right? So when Black people was trying to save you from making decisions and poor choices, you gave us your ass to kiss. When we watched you go with the MAGA hat, they said, why would you do that? You said you did what you wanted to do. When you said Rosa Parks didn't free the slaves, we're like, why would you say that? You do went along with
Harriet Tubman.
I mean, my fault, not Rosa Parks, I apologize. Harriet Tubman, when you said Harriet Tubman didn't free the slaves, you did what you wanted to do. You went along. Black America was like, why would you say that, Kanye? That don't really make sense. That diminishes our history of what we stand for. You did it because you felt like it made sense to you. You wore the Confederate flag. We said, Kanye, why would you do that to Black people? Like we with you. Like, and every time you continue to give us your ass to kiss. Now, when the relationship with you and Kim doesn't go right, when the business deal that we told you probably should, when Sway told you probably shouldn't, doesn't go right, you are Black. And these are white people doing this to you. Or these people, everybody's doing something to you, and you use your Black card, and us as Black people are supposed to come with the cape and say, nah, you Black, we don't give a fuck how much you diminished our culture, how much you disrespected us, how much you said shit that has harmed us, put us in harm's way. You come here with a White Lives Matter t-shirt where we was in fucking Louisville, Kentucky, where white people had White Lives Matter hats and shirt and surrounded us and was about to kill us in the name of White Lives Matter. And you disrespected that reality for us. And now because your business and your personal situations don't go right, you ask Black people like us, you diminish what Black Lives Matter, the movement represents. You sit on here and you lie and you take white supremacist talking points from a fake fucking documentary full of narratives that was already debunked, and you put that on our platforms, on cultural platforms that represent Black people in the culture, and you spread that information, which causes other people who believe you and follow you to spread the misinformation. And now we got to fight to show that a man who was murdered and killed in cold blood on television in front of us that we seen for damn near a year straight, we have to fight to say, no, he did kill him. And you did that to us, and we are wrong for saying that we're not supporting you in your personal tirades. You come with tirades and you talk about the industry and you talk about this and that and how it's controlling this and that, and you got $1 billion and you haven't built one institution. You haven't done anything to combat that, but you yell and scream on platforms. And that's supposed to be our leader. We're supposed to follow somebody with no strategy, with nothing. And you think that makes sense?
And the interesting thing is that people close to him that know him well are like, man, there's no strategy.
There's no strategy. It's no, you don't. The reason why it's no strategy because this has happened before. You doing the same shit that everybody else has done, and it didn't work for them. You don't have no strategy. You have not created anything. You say you haven't created anything that a Black voice can be free to speak. Whatever you complete. You don't have no record label that does it. You have no record company. You don't have a platform that does it. You don't have a job where you only can employ Black people. You don't have nothing that is going to free the Black voice to be what you say it should be. And you think it's a problem. I'm confused.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I think,
and you got $1 billion. It's not like you me.
No, he doesn't have $1 billion.
You and we fight again. You got $1 billion, and you have access to be able to create this shit.
He doesn't have $1 billion. In the last tirade I heard him on, he said he has $11 billion. That's what he said. So let's just be clear. He also, okay, this man, to your point, if you're saying that the Jews are controlling the media and the Jews have all, this is his position, right? Where's your ownership of your own network? Because guess what? Fan base exists, so you could invest in that. Instead, you went and purchased a conservative.
Fan base is a Black-owned platform.
Right. Fan base, sorry, you're right. Black-owned social media network that Isaac Hayes III owns.
That we can actually monetize on, that can do the same shit that every other platform has, right. And we can monetize our own shit on.
You can invest
you ain't never sat down with that Black man and did nothing with it.
Okay. You could have your own network. What's his name? Byron Allen, right? He bought the BNC network and made it the Griot TV. Are you sitting down with him saying, take some of my $11 billion and let's help make this thing hot?
No, because you're not trying to do that. You are emotional about your woman and what's going on in your personal life, and you want people to. The man sat on the drink champs and said, "I made the White Lives Matter shirt because the culture didn't support me when they kidnapped my kids." Right. So you put Black people's lives in harm because of your personal tirade over the woman that you married and have kids with. You know how many of us have issues with our baby mothers? You know how many of us can't see our kids? You know how many of us got to pay child support that we don't even have? And you as a billionaire, you wanted regular everyday people to go and support you in a decision that you make. How many people you came out to support?
But I don't even disagree. I don't even disagree with him that on this point, right? Check this out. He could sit here and say, I couldn't see my kids and the culture should stand up. I'm not even going to disagree. I'm going to say, you know what? Maybe there's something that the world can do to make it clear that we do not appreciate or that we don't tolerate people keeping Black men from seeing their children. Fine. Well, I just want to know how many people is Kanye supporting in the same system.
That's what I'm asking.
Because guess what? Guess what? The family court is a fucking disaster. The
Black
whole
men are losing their kids. Why you ain't going now and say, look, we want to invest in the fund for Black men who can't see their kids. We're going to be able to help you get some lawyers and all this, because I'm dealing with this. I got a couple $1 billion. I want to invest in this because this is a problem. This is a problem. So we need to figure out how we change it.
What is happening here is we are being weaponized to handle your personal business, your family custody battle, which, by the way, to all the brothers that are out there who are such strong, masculine men who support, you know, Ye because he's speaking and he's a free thinker and all this and that. Quick question. Do y'all know that the man was putting the text messages between him and his wife on the internet? Do you all know that he posted the name of his celebrity, highly exposed children on the internet? The daddy that cares so much about the kids put the children's school's name on the damn internet. This is not, it's not okay. It's not okay. And to me, back to your point, you're weaponizing us for your business deals, for your family issues, all things that we have nothing to do with. But if you came to the community and said, listen, I am here, I'm a supporter, I'm a resource, I'm in the trenches doing the best that I can, and now I'm in trouble and I need support, I'm sure people would get behind you. But violating, disrespecting, and giving us your ass to kiss, why would I get involved in that? Why would I want to be involved in something with someone who is also standing next to and working with people who intentionally try and they don't just try, they literally rip at the fabric of everything we say we stand and fight for every single day? Why would we want to stand with that? I literally want to know why. I really do.
There's no reason. There's no justification for it, man. You know, and it's really like I really would say it to myself, like it's just no more common sense. Like we have hundreds of Black people who have respected voices posting about a documentary from one side from the defense attorney. Like this is the dumbest shit. Like it is the dumbest shit in the world. Like, right? It's like you coming, like you just, like if that's what it took to win a case, we wouldn't have no case. If the defense just came and said, look, they said we killed him, look, we got our evidence and that the jury just heard that, everybody would be like, oh, look, you see, they showed this, they showed this. Where's the other side?
But Mice.
I mean, but this is what I'm trying to say is, I want to understand the common sense of the people that I want to believe, that I actually want to believe are good people that want the best for us. Like, I want to understand the mindset of an individual who I think is a stand-up individual, I think is strong, that really wants the best for Black people. What is the mindset that you have when you take the talking points, the visuals of the oppressor, the person who you know is doing everything to take us down? When you take those talking points and you present them because you have a position of power, people respect you as leader, you present them to people who don't have the discernment that you have, right? They don't have. So you present that with no text. Just, oh yeah, this is what Ye was talking about. This is the context of what you present that to people. So what people do is take it as, oh shit, I didn't know this. Oh, I didn't know that, right? So they take that as meaning that, oh, all of this happened and I didn't know it. That must mean that all the rest of the shit is a lie. What does that, what goes on in your mind when you know there's a whole nother side, right? There was a case, there was a trial. There's over hundreds of videos. There's over hundreds of fucking pictures that show this man with his knee on his neck. You take a video clip with 1 second of a video where somebody's knee might have looked like it was on the shoulder for 1 second, a picture, one picture of a 9-minute interaction. He could have been adjusting his body. They stopped it. They made a still frame to where it's on the shoulder for a second. You say, look, he wasn't on the shoulder. You take the talking points of the enemy, not and completely ignore the reality.
And then you know what this is their excuse. This is their excuse because I saw it on one of our brothers' pages. Oh, well, I'm just giving context. First of all, not all context matters. Second of all, if you provide context for something, you ought to explain why it's problematic. And lastly, do y'all not, how the freak did Ye become, he's not responsible or accountable for anything? So you telling me just because he saw over there some shit that he, as an intelligent, free thinker, who is so amazing, he's got all of these great leadership qualities, and your king can't see that something is wrong with what you're showing me and there's much more, and I don't need to repeat out of my mouth the shit that I know that you're showing me over here that is to confuse me when I know there's a larger context. So you're telling me that you're willing to follow a king that will repeat some bullshit that they saw that's 2 seconds that you know ain't right? And that's the person that you want to defend? Are y'all crazy?
Right. I mean, either they crazy or we crazy.
I guess no, I'm not crazy.
No, this is what I'm trying to tell you. I've come to the conclusion that either they completely have checked out, and but I'm trying to tell you, like you said, man, this idol worship shit is different.
It is.
It's different.
That's
like,
what it is.
It's really when you idolize somebody so much that you don't even see their flaws, that you can't even see when they telling a lie. Like if they can tell you 1 + 2 is 5, and you start believing that shit, this is where we are. Because 1 + 1 don't equal 2 to these people no more. They've completely abandoned common sense, and they've adopted conspiracy theories, what if, or maybe not. They've abandoned what you see with your personal eyes. They've abandoned what you know that you can actually touch, what you can actually look up. They don't give a fuck about facts. Like Charlamagne says this shit all the time, and I never really thought about it. But he says, who cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining? People are more entertained by lies and falsehoods and conspiracies. If I can make you believe that somebody comes in my house at night, they sneak in. I don't know. I never seen them, but I know they sneak in. The mystery of that intrigues people. Rather the reality is like, I've never seen nobody just sneak in no motherfucking house at night with the doors locked. It don't really make sense. But people are gravitating to this conspiracy of the unseen and all of this shit rather than dealing with the basic common sense that they've been taught, the shit that they've learned, the shit that they've seen with their own 2 eyes. People are going on shit that they've never seen happen before. And that's where we are. And it's like, yo, for me, I deal in reality. I deal with life on life's terms. Like if you show me facts to support what you're saying, if you can back up what you say with facts, if you can show me shit that is tangible, that I can see, that I can believe, then we can have a conversation. But you can't give me theories and conspiracy theories and opinion based on that's not based on facts. It don't make sense to me. And it's confusing to me how it makes sense to somebody else.
So dangerous. It's so dangerous. It's so dangerous. And it's very similar to how some of them, not people that we're close to, but other folks have tried to take little clips of what I say and make it something else. Take it out.
They do it to everybody. That's what I'm trying to say, man. I watched them do it to so many different people. All of our leaders, they take sound bites from everybody to create a narrative. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you watch every election, right? Every election, I don't give a fuck what side you on. They create a commercial that bashes the other person. They'll take a side. I don't give a fuck if it's the best leader you could think of, the person you support as hell. The opposition will make a video with sound bites, will post some misleading stats and all the shit they can to prove their point. That's what the job is. But you got to know the facts. When you actually do research and you care about being right, when you care about our people, for somebody to try to, it's for me, right? This is crazy, right? One of the first times in history that we actually received a level of justice in this country. Black people have been killed by police for years. We actually received a level of justice where it was undeniable, where the powers that be couldn't even fix it. They couldn't hide it. It was undeniable in our face. We received that justice. We fought for that justice.
That accountability.
Accountability, right? We fought for that accountability. We achieved it. We was with families. We heard them crying. We did all of these things. And to know that it's people that I want to believe want the actual justice and the actual equity for Black people, that they really want to see us free. To know that people like that have actually brought in to trying to diminish one of the biggest moments in our history, the turning points in our history to receiving equity and justice. They've brought into a false narrative created by people who want to keep you asleep, who want to keep you divided, who want you to believe that racism doesn't even exist in America, who wants you to believe that everything is okay, that want to continue to have the rich people getting richer. Those people have created a narrative. And the people that I truly believe in my heart, actually want the best for us, have grabbed onto that. It's really disheartening. It's disturbing. It's like, it takes a lot of wind out of your sails when you really fight for us for real, when you on this front line and you see that and you like, this is undeniable here. Like, it's undeniable. Like, this is it. There's no way that you can't hide this. And to see that the enemy is so sophisticated in their strategy to undermine us and deter us, that they still make you believe that what you see, you don't even see.
Well, they know who to use, because they knew that Candace Owens alone couldn't do it, right? Most people don't really listen to her, and the people that's with her, they never gonna be with us anyway. So, hey, they used the individual that they knew had the most clout, if you will, in our community. And they knew he was vulnerable.
Yes.
He was
and
vulnerable,
emotionally
unstable.
unintelligent.
Yeah, but also he was vulnerable because he helped to build a bear. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but he helped to build a bear, and then the bear left, right? So his ego is bruised because he put a great deal of time into forcing America to get comfortable with Kim Kardashian. Before that, she was okay, but there was probably more Black women who didn't really like her and the idea of the Kardashians for a number of reasons, some of them very valid, because I know I was certainly one of them. And still to now, I could go with them or not. Like, it's not something for me where, and you know what, over the years, watching Kim have a very specific passion to get involved with not police reform, with prison reform and trying to get people freed, that has softened me a little bit to understand that, she does have some type of understanding, or
and that's the thing that really hurts me, right? Is that she's moving closer to consciousness. and understanding our reality.
Getting a better understanding of the system. So that's kind of softened me to her. But before Kanye got involved with her, I didn't even pay attention to the Kardashians. I knew they existed, but they were not on my radar. He forced us to see her and did all that he could to make her blend in with the culture, taking her to the awards, sitting her front seat. And I get it. When you feel like you have invested in something and then it breaks apart and whatever happens, I get it. Your ego is bruised. I get it. We all as humans experience that. But the problem even with it is that there was a time when I know what I saw. I saw Kim Kardashian running to Wyoming, crying in the car, looking for him online, begging people to give him grace because he was going through some things. She went through, we know as women, we watched her go through the process of dealing with somebody who has some mental illness issues, but also someone who took her for granted at the time. Then she decided to straighten up her back and do what we do when sometimes we decide enough is enough. And she went on and went back to white people and got her peak. And you know what? His ego got bruised and he lost his mind and decided, because he is so used to the very same people that he claims BLM is a scam, all of this. You know how Kanye made his money? The same people that gave the little donations to BLM that built them, their account, them same people was buying his sneakers and buying his tickets to his concerts, okay? So when Kanye tries to act like he's so different, because I feel scammed. I got Yeezys. I have Yeezys. I have slides. I have supported him over the time. So how about I say that I feel scammed? Because the reason why I appreciated him is because he stood up and said that George Bush doesn't care about Black people. And he did the College Dropout album. And he's had other moments where I felt aligned with him. And I felt like he was aligned with us and our mission. And then he switched on us and I feel scammed. Because we built him. The little people built him. And then he sit there and say, this one right here, and I'm through with this conversation, but this one right here is the one that really makes me laugh. When he says, these other people talking about Puff and all the folks, Meek Mill and this person and that one, he's like, all those people, they get their, what did he say? They get their checks. I don't know. He said something about how they get their checks. Kanye, or Ye, excuse me, I got to get it right. The same people gave you your checks. You might not need the check from those people now, but on your way up to where you sit today, the same folk that write the check over there wrote it to you. The same little people paid for your shoes, and they also are the ones that donated or that are out here supporting to build up movements. What are we talking about? I know we not this crazy. And the only thing that I can go
it's called willful ignorance.
It's called idol worshiping, like
it's called willful ignorance, it's called idol worship, and it's called affluenza. This is the mental issue that it's affluenza, and you need to look it up. It's when you reach a certain level of wealth that you don't think that you have to deal with consequences, or you want to acquire wealth, and that need to acquire more wealth blinds you so much that you block out consequences and common sense. And when I listen to him, he thinks that he's God. He says, I'm Michael, I control this, I do this, I'm the richest Black man. All of these things he needs to tell himself to make himself some type of whole. And he thinks because of those things that there's no consequences for what he says and does. He thinks that he should be absent from consequences. And that's not a reality. We live in a world where there is free speech. But if you look at even the First Amendment, when it talks about free speech, it says that you are not free from the consequences that come with said speech. So you can say what you want to say. You just got to deal with the consequences that come with saying what you say.
What they say, you can't go into a crowded theater, and say there's a fire, right? Because You can say it all you want. You're free to speak it. But if you yell fire and cause confusion, you will be arrested. And if somebody dies as a result of a stampede, your ass is going to be charged with whatever kind of criminal act for causing it. But then I saw someone say, and I think that this is so dangerous, the $250 million lawsuit against Kanye would not have happened if he was not also being charged with being anti-Semitic. And what really impacts me from that perspective is that you, as a Black person, don't even believe that your own people have enough respect for themselves and enough value to be upset that a man is lying on one of our fallen soldiers that was killed by the devil. You don't even see enough value. So you will put the power in some other community's hand so that you don't have to face the fact that, no, God damn it, he said something wrong about somebody that we fought for, that people damn near died being out there standing up for George Floyd after we watched the life be choked out of him for over 9 minutes. That's why. It has nothing to do with any other community. And y'all same folks that sit around talking about we can't keep begging and crying about what this one did and that one did. Okay, cool. Let's move that to the side right now. Let's move all of the issues around who got the control and the power and this and his words and anti-Semitism and all that. Let's put that to the side. Let's just focus on what does it mean when you wear a White Lives Matter t-shirt? Who does that impact? And what does it also mean when you start using white supremacist talking points about your own people? Let's stick with that.
Oh no, we're not intelligent enough to know that that's wrong, right? So we don't
have value.
We don't have value. We're not supposed to say, yo, that's fucked up. We're not supposed to stand up for ourselves. We're not supposed to say, yo, what you're doing is detrimental to us as a movement, as a people. We ain't supposed to say that. Good luck. Because if you think we ain't supposed to say it, then y'all gonna be mad at me because I'm gonna say it every time.
Yeah, no, it's actually pretty dangerous. I tell you, boy, it's dangerous, but we have a guest today and I'm really excited. I think that what we have to do while we are analyzing all these things, we still have to keep drawing down on what hope looks like for our communities. And I just want us to be more invested in the beauty of who we are and who we're becoming than allowing people to distract us and throw us off a path of building towards a greater future. And that's what this whole last month has been about. Distractions and people whining and bitching and crying, and men who are supposed to be so strong and so all these brilliant things being weak. That's what it's been.
That's a fact.
So, I've been meeting new friends, right? Because as we grow, we've got to find new people to bring into our lives that can help us go the extra mile. Doesn't mean we get rid of all the folks. There's some people we've had to shed along the way, but don't get rid of all the folks, but we add. And I totally I support the idea that, or at least, let me say this. I disagree with people who say you can't find new friends late in life. I think that as you evolve, your needs for support, friendship, mentorship, and all of that changes. And you have to have new people that come with new perspectives that can help you see through some of your vision and planning. And so I spent a weekend with Coach Stormy and some incredible women from around the country. You meet people in spaces, my son, and you're like, oh, Tammy, don't talk because I'm talking to him. You're not here right now. You're going to be introduced in a second, so don't say anything. You meet people sometime in space and you're like, Where are all these people? The internet puts you in a fishbowl, man. And when you're in the fishbowl of the internet, you think that those are the people. No, it's people everywhere, people that are not even online. And I met these incredible women. There's probably a little more than 50 of us. We spent the weekend together. But when I arrived, I was a little late. I think we were working somewhere, so I was a little late. When I arrived, they were already viral for an incident that happened between Coach Stormy and our guest today. And it's funny because we talked about this a little bit on the last show. It's funny because from the internet's perspective, hearing what they heard, I can't say, oh, I don't understand anything, because I get how people could have perceived the conversation. But being present with these individuals, you know, and get to learn real quick how important that conversation was, and also how much love and support exists among the individuals that had the conversation. And so it makes me laugh because I'm looking at the internet and I know that people are going to be triggered by the word hood rat. They're going to be triggered by that. They can't take that because, you know, hood rat has been weaponized against Black people, you know, to make us like we are less than. And so people, you know, when they hear hood rat, they ready to go because they like, yo, I've been called a hood rat in my life. You know, this job I went on, I know they felt we were hood rats. So I get it. It triggers people. And what I took away from it is that not every conversation that you have with your friend are people who are listening from the outside going to be able to understand. Because I know me and you, when we talking and there's no camera around, we say whatever we got to say. And I know that's the case with my girlfriends. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you still letting this dude just do you whatever kind of way, you dummy? Like, you know, that's the way I talk. We talk like that. But in front of a camera, I'm going to say, sis, you have to love yourself, right? You know what I mean? You can't just allow someone to, but in the quiet, private time, you was a dumb asshole. Like, you know, so I get it. However, after spending time with them, I got to learn so much about these women, their relationship, where they came from. And when you know where they came from, it makes the conversation even more clear, it makes you get it even more. And so for today, I'm excited that I have one of the individuals in that conversation to be here and be a part of this dialogue and to be our guest. And by the way, the journey of our guest today is so powerful, because this is a woman who went from being homeless to building from scratch a home for her and her children and starting all over again in life. So I am so excited to welcome author, inspirational speaker, mentor, millionaire coach. Listen, she's a mentor and a millionaire coach, and a mama, and her name is Tammy. They call her Tammy with the T, which she's gonna tell us all about. And her story is making a global impact. Thank you so much, Tammy, for coming on.
Yeah, edification, that was, hello. I'm grateful to be here. And, you know, just with everything going on, it to be honest, it's right in time. Yeah. Sometimes we say things are right on time, but it's right in time. Yeah. And you know, I'm here. We're celebrating a lot this week. Yesterday, we celebrated our anniversary of being in the house, 1 year closing, and also being in our company that helped me, that made me build this house. I made the income from 7 years.
Wow.
Saturday, 7 years, one business, besides my personal businesses, of course, but one network marketing business, one bread. Like, I'm just loyal, downright loyal. So everybody just won't understand me. And I have to understand that everybody just won't do that.
Right.
Well, I want to say that I am inspired. You know, Tamika been talking about you guys and talking about her experience. So, you know, I started paying attention. And then when the video came out yesterday, she sent this to me. And I was like, wow. You know, I was just so motivated, just looking at the family, just looking at what you've been through, just hearing your story. And I just want to know that what you represent is Black excellence to me. You know, is perseverance, is overcoming, is being at the bottom and not giving up on yourself and believing in yourself so much that it didn't matter how much nobody else didn't believe in you. And to hear your kids' testimony on what they went through and how proud they were. I mean, I brought a little tear to my eyes, man. You know,
Them kids make a thug cry, don't they?
I mean, they sure make it tough cry. You know, so what I want to know is like,
Thank you.
what was the process? Like, give us, because they said you went through these things. Like, what was your process? Where did you come from? Give us a little bit of background to get where you got to where you are now.
Perfect. So my background is literally like my mom died when I was 9 years old. I never knew my dad. I never seen his face at all. And I knew that I was special. I knew that I was different, you know, and I always believed as a little girl that I would be able to grow up and tell my story and tell my testimony to help other people. I've been saying it, but I went through like identity crisis. I went through an identity crisis, especially your mom dying at 9 years old. Just imagine my little son that y'all seen in the video. Just imagine me gone. Like, I couldn't even imagine that. I'm not gonna put that image in my nation, but I started with small beginnings, and my mom died at 9, and she gave me over to my second mom, which is my auntie Tammy, and she literally just died in July. So I took a lot of losses in my life, and I had to prove. I always believed in God. I always had faith. I believe in Jesus. I'm saved. I'm all of that. But I just didn't believe that I was supposed to be broke, and I was supposed to be sick, and I was supposed to be without. I just knew that my life was full of purpose, that everything was happening for me. It wasn't happening to me. And so I got married at a very young age, and divorced. I'm divorced now, but I got married at a very young age, trying to fill the family void that I didn't have. I started working a job. I had my daughter at the age of 17. And, you know, I'm really one of the ones that can identify with every kind of pain, every kind of hurt from women or men. I'm not a man, but I know hurt. Pain is not prejudice. And so I just wanted to prove to my younger self that I can make it out. Everybody, some of my people I grew up with still stuck. They still stuck. They don't know what to do. They still overweight. They still not operating their purpose. They just think they're supposed to pay bills and die. And so I'm very grateful that one of the things that I've been able to do was just find myself. And so this journey, long story short, has been, it's been very challenging. It's been challenging, but I wanted this. And sometimes we have to remember what we wanted. Like, I wanted this. I had to go through to get to. That's just what it is. And so I moved to Dallas in about 2005. When at the end of 2004, when I was pregnant with my daughter, I moved to Dallas with my brother. My brother took care of me. That's when I met my ex-husband. So started this big old family. This is the second house I built. I built $100,000 house back in 2009, and went through a lot with that. Going through in relationships and thinking that he is your provider. He's not my provider. God is my provider. But when he got paid, I got paid. So I didn't know how to provide for myself. I didn't know how to log in and pay a light bill. I didn't know these things. Everybody always did something for me, but I didn't do nothing for myself. And in 2015, I remember my dad died. I never met him in my life. This was the paradigm shift that happened to me. I never knew my dad. I never seen his face. I looked for him. I found him in 2014. He died in 2015. I had one Father's Day my whole life. So what everybody else celebrate, I never celebrated. Everybody else celebrate Mother's Day. It's very difficult for me to celebrate Mother's Day, not because I'm not a beautiful mother, but because I don't have one. And so that was the shift. I literally prayed for my dad to come into my life. And I'm sorry if I get emotional, but I prayed for my dad to come into my life. And I kept looking. And somebody at that job I was at said, look one more time. And one more time, just do it one more time. It may just be the time. And I found him. He told me everything I needed to know that filled every void. And he died right after that. And then I was like, we was going through a divorce right after he died. I was in a very dark place, 200 pounds, 5 feet, no inches, 200 pounds, just imagine. I was losing it. And I didn't know what I was going to do. And my children's father called me one day and he said, it's a lady on Instagram that I want you to look up. She got this bottle in her hand. She's selling a product and she made $1 million in 7 months. Her name is Stormy Wellington. And I want you to look her up because you remind me of her. And she's speaking on all these stages and you already speak in front of 10,000 people at church. It's just, you need some type of help. And my children's father told me that. And I researched Stormy Wellington and I reached out to her. And she said, call me on my direct line. It's something special about you. I believe that you can do this business with me. And I started the business. I became one of the biggest testimonies in the company. I lost the weight on the products. My skin cleared up on the products, and I would go from city to city and show up to every event. And I would be like, this is working, it's working, it's working. And I kept going and growing. And for 4 years, I made like 150,000.
Mm.
I just kept
Per
going.
year or just
For 4 years total, 150.
Mm-hmm.
And that 5th year, we did $1.2 million.
Mm.
People started flooding my business, flooding my organization, making money.
What do you think was the shift? What was the change?
The shift was me being at the right place at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was time. It was timing and positioning. Like, people already knew me for being consistent. Nobody wants an inconsistent leader. Like,
Mm-hmm.
where are we taking? Like, you can Google me. Like, you can look at my history and my past and see that I kept going. I was consistent and I was committed. And people just was like, let's go. And then around that time, we got locked in the house. Everybody was trying to, get healthy at that time. And they knew I was Tammy with the T and all of that, which we'll get into, because Tammy with the T is not even the tea that we drink.
Mm.
I was Tammy with the T before I joined the business. That's another deep story too.
Mm.
But after the coronavirus or whatever, the pandemic.
Pandemic.
After the pandemic, we made another 1.5 million. So it wasn't the pandemic, because we did more. We still make money today.
Mm. Well,
So
I think people's mentality shifted. Like you said, they knew they had to be healthier. And so I think the pandemic started a lot of people, them becoming more healthy. Conscious of health, because you knew that you couldn't return to what you was doing before, especially if you didn't want to die from catching coronavirus. But I do think, to your point, it was, yes, you could build off the pandemic, but in order for people to stay with you, you have to have something special. It's not, they're not just with the same thing just because it was the pandemic. No, they tried different products, they went different places, and they found what they love.
It was consistency and persistency, man. You were consistent.
Yes, I would say that it was definitely consistency, because in order to, you got to help somebody else succeed if you want to succeed in our company. And that's actually a principle in life. You can't go nowhere by yourself.
That's
you
right.
can't.
So
you can only go so far. So
that's it.
That's what happened. And I was like, it's very painful, very, very painful to keep telling my kids no. It pained me to tell them they could only have one Christmas gift. It just pained me to tell them that we had to go bathe at racetrack or 7-Eleven. It pained me to eat noodles every day. They pained me, and I knew I had to shift. And I knew I wasn't the only woman in this world that was dealing with this. I knew I wasn't. I knew I wasn't, but I had to help my family first before I can help thousands of others.
Listening to your son, and him saying, I remember we didn't have no food, and I had to do all these things, but you always supported me, and we got all of this, and I watched like him seeing you grow, and I seen that look in your face, and I know what that looks. I know I've been a little kid in a house that didn't have nothing, you know what I'm saying, and being motivated. So when you actually see, your mother or the person you love excel to that next level, it's a gratifying feeling, and it's going to motivate him, because he knows what not having has, and then he knows the process it takes to get to that, So what I want to know is, you've done this, and now what was the process to building this house? Like watching this house be like seeing it from scratch. Like, how did you say, yo, I want to build this house here? Like what was your mind state about it?
So throughout my journey, I went to different events. I went to different dream days. And I always had, I'll tell you or not, I had a tan Chevrolet. It was tan and black or tan and brown. And that's what we lived at. And so I was like, my house is going to be like tan and white, like black and white. So I went to different events and I started seeing what I like. I was like, oh my God, I like this stairs. I like this home. You know, I was inspired because once you see something, you can't unsee it.
Mhm.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it. So like once you've seen this right now, you can't unsee this. So, you know, I started going to different dream days and I started dreaming bigger, much faster. And I was just like, it's time to do it for the culture. It's time to show the people what we can do. Like I said, it pained me to tell my son no. It pained me that I went through a divorce and I'm trying to raise 2 boys and I'm a mom. And it's like, I'm not a man. Like, I'm not one of them women. Like, I'm a very peculiar woman. And I'm not one of the women say, oh, I got it. I'm gonna raise him. No, not me. No, I need help. I need help, you know? And so that kind of pushed me and it drives me. My pain pushes me. It don't pause me. And so I start going to these different events with Stormy. You had to be like this big time leader to come to Dream Day. And she gave me so much grace. She was like, you ain't making but $300-400 a week, but I want you to come to Miami and come to this Dream Day and come look at some of these $1 million mansions. You and your kids, you know, slept in a car. Like you need to get you some money. Like who's in your life that's going to challenge you and tell you need to get you some money. You really need to do something with your life. Like, and that's kind of what I did. So I started seeing stuff and everything you see was in my head first. I went to these different mansions. I seen chandeliers. I seen white floors. I went to Stormy house. She had these marble tops and gold everywhere. I'm like, wait, gold is my favorite color. And then I wanted my house to be very heavenly, very open, very bright. And it's just a lot to it because my first house, when I was married, it was very dark. The furniture was dark. The refrigerator was dark. Shit, I was dark. And I was just like, I don't want no more dark furniture. I don't want none of that. If anything black is in my house, it's going to bring out the white. That's it. So I literally, it was a battle. I started making all this money and I called my realtor and I was just like, let's get to looking. Let's get to looking. Looked at several spots, even bought land for like 60 grand at the time, thinking I'm gonna build on it. I had to go through different processes. So I'm actually write a book about how I built my house from ground up because nobody has done what I've been able to do.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not something, it's not easy, especially for people like us and where we come from to get to the place that you build from the ground up. A lot of people think it's impossible. Like I could never do it. And look, you know, you were able to accomplish it. So tell us about Tammy with the T. You mentioned it and I thought it was Tammy with the T, the drink. So
No.
it's not, okay, well, tell us the story.
Tammy with the T, branding is everything. Tammy with the T is teaching, encouraging, and we all advance together. That's that was my brand before I started the company. I teach, I encourage, and I help people advance. But I was like, I'm tired of helping people advance. I need to advance too, because that'd be a part of the problem in business and ministry and whatever you do. You pour, Tamika, you pour, you give, you keep going, you keep giving. And then you look around at your life, you like, dang, I'm not advancing. But the girl I just preached to just bought her a Mercedes. So why are we not advancing together? So I just was like, okay, I'm doing all this teaching. I'm teaching things I know. I'm teaching things I don't know. I just have wisdom and I encourage and we advance. All of a sudden, I made it to the top of my tea company, but I was Tammy with the T before my tea company.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense.
So talk about network marketing. And, you know, I know so many people that want to know more about it because you guys are getting a lot of screen time, if you will, and it's making people who didn't even know about this type of business focus. So talk about that. the multi-level marketing, how did you get engaged, and then what has the process been?
Yes, the process, most people think that this is like hitting the lottery, and it almost is. Because if you make a decision to lock in, show up, and go to work, you can make it in this industry. I never did network marketing before. I do not beg people to do this. Like, if people want Gucci, they'll go to Gucci and buy it. But what makes my and our network marketing so powerful is that we have life-changing products. So it's not just what everybody else is doing. You know, I'm sorry, no shade or anything. I couldn't sell like a lot of lipsticks and stuff. Like, I don't want a pink Cadillac. I wanted a Bentley. So our wants are different. You know what I mean? I may sell my own lipstick coming soon. I may sell my own perfume coming soon. But for another company, it's like, I want to be able to make money for my family. And they don't hold us in a box. So network marketing is literally network and marketing. Like, this is what we're doing right now. We're networking together. I didn't know you before now. Now I feel like I got a friend in you. You know, I didn't know you, but now we're marketing within the market this. So that's what network marketing is. And I didn't know what to do. I'm gonna be real honest with people out listening to me. I never did network marketing before. I didn't like it when people showed up at my door to my, we want to buy some cookie dough. I hated it. But our company has products that work. It is affordable. It changed my life. So why not sell it? If I use toothpaste every day, why not sell it? If I know I need to lose weight or detox or be on a vitamin, then why not sell it? So it just makes sense. That's just it. Like, everybody that's ever been a part of our company knows that the products work and that we make money.
So you only sell the products that you have used that you know work.
I sell all of our products in our company.
So
but that's the difference between another company and our company. I don't know about nobody else's company because I've only been in my company for 7 years. But I know that what got me going from somebody that never did it before, never sold nothing, network marketing is the place to be. Like, I got in front of the leaders. Like, I'm like, Stormy driving a Rolls Royce. She didn't even have she didn't even graduate high school. She got 3 kids, got her own house. I was inspired by the other leaders. Yeah. Then I was around other leaders at the time, going to their events. They were sitting at the front, I was sitting at the back, and they was like, had these big old rings on their fingers, and they had like made they 250,000. I thought that was a lot of money back then. And you know, I was just inspired along the way.
Right, because I don't want people to hear this and think, oh, she saw material things. No, you have already been in the ministry. So you covered one part. You had already covered the soul work, the work of fighting through trials and tribulations. And at this point, you're ready for your prosperity. And there's literally nothing wrong with that. And
nothing at all.
Is this, I don't know where it came from, but we rejected the idea that in order for you to be a leader and to help people and to be in certain type of mission work, that you have to be poor and destitute and busted. I don't know where that came
completely
from.
Reject.
No, we reject that.
Correct. That's what I said before. I was like, I knew before I started this company, I knew I was not supposed to be broke and I was not supposed to be sick via Bible. Be a Bible. I came that you may have life and have it more abundantly. Life is not sick, and abundance is more than enough. I'm supposed to have more than, I serve a more than enough God. I don't I don't serve a God where I'm supposed to be ashy, looking crazy, feed my kids noodles. That was just a part of my process. They don't got to be a part of my purpose. So don't get it twisted. It was time for my prosperity, and I knew that God couldn't use me on a big scale and expansion that he's using me and the capacity that he's using me now, because it's all him. If I was broke, busted, and disgusted and just running around the church every day saying, God gonna make a way. No, I'm gonna make a way.
Because God says so, that's what.
Yeah, I'm gonna make the way. And the way is already prepared for me. He's the way. So I'm gonna make the way. And I gotta make some decisions to be prosperous. So I chose my vehicle, network marketing. network marketing, because even in my ministry and the things that I do in PSA, I need people. I need a team of people. We get a lot further when it's a team.
That's right.
So that's what I learned in network marketing, is that you got to network in whatever business you're doing, no matter what. You got to network with people and you got to market what you're selling. That's all that we do. And
Marketing promotion. Listen, I'm glad y'all listen to me. I'm so glad that y'all grabbed into Tamika, because this is what I've been telling her for years. I'm like, there's so many people that's profiting off of your intellectual property and off of everything that you have. And she, the thing is, she's such a selfless person, and she does this genuinely. And in her mind, she don't want you to think she's profiting. And I'm like, it's not bad that the fact that you provide a service, you provide energy, you provide so much to people, and you don't want to utilize that to make sure that you provide it for. And she feels really, it's hard as hell to get her to promote herself. She don't want to market. She don't want to do interviews. She like, I don't want to do none of that. Like, she's rejected money. Like, people trying to raise money, and she like, yo, I don't want to raise no. She's cut off her Cash App for people trying to donate. Like, I'm not taking no more money from people. And I'm like, yo, you're doing too much work not to, like you said, to have abundance. So I'm glad that y'all grabbing her, and she's starting to get into the realm of like, you know what? I've done so much for 25 years. I've given so much to people, my family, the people, I got a granddaughter now. I'm supposed to leave them a legacy so where they don't have to go through the things that I went through. So I'm glad.
All I'm saying, first of all, as I eat my cuties, this interview is not about me.
It isn't, but I just want to say that because
but
y'all
what I
inspire
will
her,
say
so
is
it's good. I'm glad that she
I am-
got some team people.
I am very blessed. I'm very blessed abundantly. And I thank God for all the blessings, but I'm also traumatized, right? Like, I deal with a lot of trauma from the attacks that we are constantly taking about, you know, how we should look and whatever, and where we should go and who we should be around and how much money we should have and things and this and that. I'm growing out of it. I'm beginning to understand that somewhere along the line we were lied to, and people tried to make us believe that your purpose and the purpose to serve is aligned with being broke. And I know that that's actually not true. So I'm trying to do better. And I think that it's a good thing that my approach has been very humble. But I also know that sometimes you got to kind of step out of that overly humble space in order for you to achieve what it is that you deserve. So I'm working on it, Mr.
Yeah,
Lynn.
and I want to say something about that, because let me just say that Tamika is very special. When I met her 2 weeks ago, her spirit is just, it just drew me. It's I don't know the word. I don't know that word. It's just beautiful.
Magnetic.
Yeah, it's just
On this show, we learn words because we don't know it all the way.
Yeah, learn the word, because it's just it was like this, magnetic. It was. And I was like, something about her. She's so beautiful. She's so sweet. She's so humble. She's so quiet. But it's like, we have to understand that we got to accept what happened to us and move forward, because nobody wants to wake up trying to figure out, nobody gets up and celebrate. Oh my God, the lights out today. Oh my God, my kids don't have nothing to eat today. Oh my God, I got to ride the bus today. Nobody wants to be broke. Nobody wants to be lacking. Nobody wants to be without. Anybody that hates on money don't have none. So at the end of the day, and unfortunately, you had to go through some trauma and some critics and them creatures that are talking about you. They don't have what you have. So you have to still let the people know all of this is not about me bragging. This is just to show you that you can have it too. And when you know who you are not. So somebody that's in the projects can be like, Tammy, all she do is show off her house. And that's the same person I'm trying to get let her know she can get out of projects. So it's just perspective. It's just perspective. So, I totally understand. I get it. People love my humility, but I'm not finna sit here and act like God ain't blessed me, because I'm very, very blessed, and it's more to come.
So talk about the hood rat.
It's so funny because you was there.
Listen, I laughed so hard the other day. I'm watching Stormy, right? And I'm so glad that I got to meet Stormy before before this incident, so that I can have my own perspective. My son and I, we from the hood. Like, we know the hood, we go to the hood, we live still with people. Our community, they hood as hell. That's what we live in. And we have to, sometimes we got to catch ourselves and adjust even our own thinking and speaking, because it just is what it is. That's our foundation. So it doesn't really impact me the way that it would others. But I'm listening to Stormy the other day, and she was washing her face and using her products and promoting her products. And she goes, and something about dark, marks or dark rings under people's eyes. And she goes, yeah, because you hoes with them dark. And she says, oh, I can't be calling y'all hoes while selling the products and promoting the brand and trying to get you to get your skin together. And I laugh because that's just her personality. It's just the way that she speaks. And so listening to you guys talking about that plate and your plate, and you said you were 80 pounds, you were 200 pounds, 5 feet, right?
200.
200. 200.
I was 200.
200 pounds.
Yeah,
200 pounds. So this is your friend who's been with you through this journey. You done lost the weight. She's been with you, helping you make sure you fly, got it going on. Fitness, I saw y'all working out one day. They damn near killed you. Her and Claudiane worked, y'all, it was rough. I was stressed and I was only in the bed. So they've been through this journey of helping you get healthier, get your sexy on. And then you sitting up there with this plate with the food running over on all sides. And your friend she is definitely hood and too real, looks at you and she says, yo, what is that? And starts talking her stuff that we as friends speak. And it was captured on camera. So tell me about, how do you feel in hindsight after now watching it and listening to some of the commentary?
Oh man, I'm shocked at the comments, because everything that we do is a lesson. So people really think I'm over here getting beat on or something. They literally think she was like, I would have flipped her plate over. Like, the comments are hilarious, but people really feel some type of way about my response. And the whole purpose was to show people, like, I didn't make that plate. I did not make my plate. That plate was served to me. Chef Anthony's assistant put all that food on my plate. They really did. And one thing I want to talk about, I want to say this, is that who's putting what on your plate? Like, I got the lesson out of it. And I think the world didn't know how, like, we have 7 years of a relationship here, and somebody on social media telling me to leave my coach alone. Somebody I've been having around me for a year or two telling me to leave my coach alone, and you just coming into my life when I'm in the Bentley and in the home. Like, like, nah, like, you just forgave your dude. You just forgave that girl. You just keep forgiving your supervisor and their job. They keep telling you can't go see your kids' games. So at the end of the day, it's like Storm was not being rude to me. I know how she talked. She was just saying, why you let that man put all that food on your plate? That's it. Like, that's basically all this was about. It was about you somebody else putting all the food on my plate. Somebody else putting their bills on my plate. Somebody else want to borrow my car. That's putting stuff on my plate. Somebody else need counseling. That's putting something else on my plate. Somebody else needs to borrow 10,000, 1,500. That's putting something else on my plate. So where else is your plate overrunning and over full? So I looked at it like that. So my response came from, I understood what she was saying, but I was like, even though they put it on my plate, Storm, I have the discipline not to eat it. Or we got the tea that if I do choose to eat it, then it's going to come out anyway. But she was trying to teach me a lesson like she always do. And every time she teach me a lesson, I take it and I go expand. So who cares what everybody else is saying? But I understood it from their perspective. She said, that's a hood rat plate. She didn't call me a hood rat. People talking about your coach called you a hood rat. No, she didn't.
She said that. And guess what? I eat plates that's low vibrational.
Yeah, we do eat. We do eat.
We do.
Can't wait till Thanksgiving.
Listen, man, you know what the thing for me is, looking at that and hearing that, I played sports, right? And the best coaches I ever had, they ain't sugarcoat. You got off the court, they said you was a bum. You ain't shit. You ain't doing nothing. He out there killing you. Sit on the side. And that motivated me to get back in the game and do work. Like everybody needs a different type of coaching. You need friends. I don't need friends to pat me on the back when I need you to motivate me. I need you might have to say some shit to me and say, yo, you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. Like everybody ain't going to tiptoe around tulips. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the relationship you have. And I'm looking at you. You not no weak woman. You ain't nobody that somebody going to push over. That ain't
right. Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? Like you ain't no pushover. So, and that's why I'm glad that you are intelligent enough and emotionally intelligent enough not to allow the naysay and all of the bullshit to interact or interfere with a relationship that you got with somebody that you know where they come from.
Exactly. So I thank you for that, because I did have some good messages. Tammy, your response it's like none other. I don't know nobody that would have responded like you. Like literally got the lesson right then and there, because I know who I was dealing with. I know who I'm talking to. My coach is not to hurt me. She is to love me. My coach is to help me. My coach is to show me where I'm going wrong. You got to remember, if you lose the football game, it falls on the coach. If you win the football game, it falls on the coach or the leader or the quarterback, the main person everybody's looking at, right? So that goes for me too. That's how I train. I'm not easy on my people. I'm not easy on Sheila. I'm not easy on Latrice. I'm not easy on Kai. I'm not easy on my leaders either. Like we got work to do. I've earned well over $3 million, right? Stormy has made well over 50 million. If she say, I don't need all the food, you got to learn how to humble yourself because of what I desire. See, I want to make 25 million in the next 5 years. Yeah. So somebody that already made 50 million, twice is what I am trying to get and going to get and moving towards it. Right. Then it's like, why everything got to be upset? And so many people left this woman. Let's get into it. So many people left this woman. She's helped make millions and millions and millions of dollars. And because she didn't say something right, and because she didn't do something right, they all gone. They all left.
But
I'm gonna be the one here.
But you know what, Tammy? Everybody is not for everybody. Some people can't get what they need from certain people. I know the type of person that I am. And that's why I get Stormy and you, and I'm able to blend in with your, with the group, because I can be kind of harsh too. You know what I'm saying? I know I can. I grew up in an environment where you couldn't really have a lot of weakness. You know what I'm saying? And let me be real clear. I'm not saying that anyone who says the way in which Stormy communicates or Tammy or Tamika is not for me, I'm not saying they're weak, right? They just need something different. People need something different. I'm saying the way I grew up, my mama had a heavy hand. Some of the things that my mother said to me, I won't even repeat it because I don't want to, because now that she's 77, actually, she is 77 years old, just turned 77 years old last week. My mother is the sweetest angel. And people, when I tell them of the things that happened in my life as a child, they go, not Miss Mallory would never say those things to you. Baby, when I was 15 and I was out here doing God knows what, that lady was saying things to me in a language that I don't even know. She knew curse words that I never heard before. And the way she put the curse words together, it got me to where I'm sitting in this moment. But some people can't, that's not what they need. Some people need someone who speaks to them in a different way. That's why there are coaches and teams that fit individuals and their personality. And we have to be okay with that.
And we are okay with that. And I appreciate people that correct me. I appreciate people that be like, nah, like Tammy, nah. Like before my mama died, she was like, we was in the hospital. She was in the hospital. She was like, you gaining weight. You ain't on your team no more. Like my mama told me it before she died. You getting fat. That's how she talked. Like that's what she don't mean she don't love me no deeper or no or any less. Like that's how she talk. You getting fat. She basically saying get back on your stuff. Don't let me being sick. Don't let our circumstances and everything that I'm going through make you get out of what you know you're supposed to be doing for yourself. So at the end of the day, it's like that's just who she is. And everybody can't handle it. Everybody don't like their ketchup in the refrigerator. Some like it in the pantry.
And that's what it is, man. You know,
I'm cool with that, but this is what got me where I'm at right now. So, you know, God's grace, his mercy, correction, people showing me that there was a better way, people showing me there was more money to make, you know, people showing me like, even Storm showing me that she need me too. Not just her, not just me needing her. My sister need me too. You know what I mean? She needs my anointing too. I'm on assignment. She needs what I bring too. So when you know who you are, you know who you are not. I'm not gonna drag and lead and act a fool because some strangers, even some family members want me to. No, because the same money she told me, Tammy, speak like this on a call. Don't speak all angry, mean. Speak like this on the call. Get a little bit more peace and humble about yourself. Straighten up a little bit. Put on a suit jacket a little bit. You know, cover up a little bit. Them type of corrections and me implementing them took me where I'm at. And I said this last week. I didn't have to implement nothing Stormy taught me. Nothing. I didn't have to implement nothing. I didn't have to implement how I speak. I didn't have to implement how I look. I didn't have to. I didn't have to put nothing to works for me. I could have still been back there where I was, but I chose to apply what was taught. And that's where we are here today. So I know that. So, you know, the hood rat thing, I'm from the country. And it's like, I knew my coach wasn't calling me a hood rat. She was just like, we queens, sis. We queens, don't let them, don't. She was basically, in my mind, I didn't hear what everybody else heard. I heard, don't let nobody put all that food on your plate, queen.
So tell everybody about your company, where they can find you, your social media, all of those things, so that they can get in tune with you. Tammy with the T.
Yes. You can Google Tammy with the T, but my Instagram is Tammy Price _. My Facebook is Tammy Price. I'm Tammy Price all over the board. Tammy Price _ on TikTok. Just Tammy Price, you know, but Prayer Sacrifice Action is my one of my brands, my business, my ministry, my prayer conference that done got us, keep us, you know, kind of molded together. So Prayer Sacrifice Action also on all platforms.
Wow.
We appreciate you, man. I just want to say, continue to grow, continue to preach this ministry, like you glowing, you giving, it's giving.
Thank you. It's giving what's supposed to have gave.
It's giving.
Is it giving what it's supposed to? Tamika, hear me.
Go ahead. There you
Well,
go.
first of all, Tammy is my girlfriend, okay? Because
yeah, that's right.
if I got me a husband, Tammy is my girlfriend. She gonna be with me. So me and Tammy, we got a thing going on. So don't be being.
Tammy is single, y'all. Go on, hit her DM.
Tammy is not single. Don't believe that.
Tammy not single.
Tammy is not single. I said she was
I tried to help y'all. She said,
listen, I said she was my girlfriend. I did not say that I was her girlfriend back. I just said she was mine.
Tammy is not, I'm not married, but I'm not single. I'm not single. But I keep this right here. If I'm not wearing my big company ring, I keep this on my wedding ring. It's a butterfly. And butterfly means God is with me. And butterfly means that there's a process to everything. There is a process. Don't force it, because your relationship right now, like we could talk about so much today, but your relationship area right now may be in the cocoon stage, and nobody wants to take a picture with a cocoon because it's kind of wrapped up and isolated. But when the butterfly come out, everybody want it. Everybody want to take a picture with the butterfly, but nobody want to take a picture with the one that was on the caterpillar stage. You know, they just muddy and nasty. Nobody liked me back then, but now, you know.
They ain't want back then. They ain't want you. Now they all on you.
That's my girlfriend. She done said it all.
We appreciate you,
Tammy.
What's good,
Congratulations and
Thank
more
you.
more life, blessings and all the things, those beautiful children. There's clips throughout the show with their words to you. It's just powerful. You look good. You are good. Your heart is good. It don't take, I'm a 2-second, I can tell. Up, nope. Or yeah, I'm in. And
Oh, that's deep.
It didn't take me but a few minutes to find my people among your group. And in fact, everyone was wonderful, but there are always people who stick out, folks who become, they really grab your heart, and you touched me deep. And just your whole story. And I knew I loved you. I knew it. We enjoyed one another so much. You were there. You helped me. It was like I was being protected and shown the way. But then when I saw your video yesterday, I said, okay, God, that's it. That was it. It was a real reason for us to be connected. And I know we're going to do incredible things together. I know it. I'm happy about it. And I'm just so proud of you, and want you to know that I'm grateful for your trials. I'm grateful for your trials, because I know that without those trials and tribulations, we would not be sitting here with you being such an inspiration for the world. So everything we've been through, the dark places, we just have to thank God. So thank you for taking me through a dark place so that I could be light. Not just see the light, but actually become light. And you are light, my love.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Tammy. You got me over here crying, Lord. They gonna put that on the shade room.
More, listen, viral. They say
Thank
just
you.
go viral and worry about the rest of it later. So hey.
Thank you so much. You're so amazing. Thank y'all for having me. So much we could talk about. So many different things that we could do together. This is not it. This is just the beginning. So let's take it and let's run with it. Let's do what we got to do. Whatever I got to do, whoever I got to become for you, then I'll do that.
I know. Love you.
I love you too.
So I just love, I love me some Tammy. I know it's controversial. I get it. People want to say, well, I'm not weak. And, I still feel that the way in which she was speaking, and I have friends, I got close friends that were like, nah, I ain't cool with this, da da da. And that's okay. Like, we can actually.
But you don't got, the reality is you don't got to be cool with somebody else's situation, right? And it ain't your situation. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
You might sit there, you watching a relationship, you watching your friend's relationship, and they might be cussing each other out, but that's their love language. Everybody got their own love language. So
some stuff, but some love languages can be toxic.
I mean, they can be toxic, but
my thing is, I don't think in this situation
it don't look toxic to me. It looks like they both benefit. I think they both benefit from this relationship. I think the tough love that they have, they might speak to each other in a manner that is not comfortable for everybody else, but it's comfortable for them. I don't think, when I watched the situation, it didn't look like at any point she felt like she was being belittled or anything. She responded and she moved on past it. The world got more angry about her situation than she did.
Yeah. And sometimes people from the outside looking in can see things that you don't necessarily see. But I'm not just an outsider. I'm an outsider who happened to be on the inside while this was taking place. And I can assure you that the love and support among those women is very powerful. And I'm not as concerned with the idea that, and I guess from Tammy's perspective, because this is her leader, people have left and people have, had different issues and they fell out with Stormy and this and that. And I get it, and she says very clearly that she had some issues that may have created challenges within those relationships, because we have to be accountable about that, right? But I don't think there's anything wrong with leaving a relationship that you feel is no longer serving you. But those people who do stay behind, those people who you can tell there's been progress, we gotta be flexible enough to sit back and say, that's what works for them. And then you just got to go find what works for you. It doesn't have to be complicated to the point where we analyze what is best for another person. We just have to find what's best for us, because while we sit and analyze and cut it up, read it, do this and do that and the third, we're missing valuable seconds of getting our own shit together. So,
and that's a fact, man. And that brings me to my little I don't get it. You know, we've talked about so many things at the beginning of the show. We talked about, you know, all of Kanye and how it's dangerous. And I think it just comes down to, how are we still in the same position years after Martin Luther King, years after Malcolm X? Why are we still falling for the same tricks? Why are we still falling for the same strategies that the enemy utilizes against us? Every movement we've had, they've accused the leaders of stealing, of scamming, of doing all the things. They called the Panthers drug dealers. They called Martin Luther King a sellout, a coon. Malcolm was a trade. They utilize. There's not one leader that we had that actually did anything that they didn't discredit. Every movement they tried to discredit, and we still falling for the same tricks, man. The fact that we're in a time where, you know what I'm saying, we just seen one of the biggest movements overall in civil rights history that kind of shifted the consciousness of America to acknowledge what Black people have, of the world, to acknowledge what Black people in America have been experiencing forever, you know. And we now in a time when people are trying to undo that. Like, and it's people that look like us, people who are being used or weaponized against us, people who constantly keep talking about where's money for BLM, $80 million, and they have websites where you can go to the website and see where the money's being allocated to. You can see that they have 990s and federal audits and all these things that show that there's no wrongdoing. They want to ignore that because for some reason, us as a people, we want to believe that our people don't have our best interests in hand. We want to believe that our people are negative. It's some of us, not all of us. There are a dynamic inside of,
there's a certain
dynamic, but those people poison. It spreads a poison, right? It, you know, even the fact that we will show, you know, Candace Owens' documentary, which is nothing but fabrication and, you know, and sound bites and theories from people who already want to believe. They have had experts that told us that scientists, who proven scientists, who try to tell us why, you know, Black people were inferior. They did whole studies on it. So when you bring these white people that tell you these things that negatively support the undermining of the murder of a Black man in the street, and you put that on the screen and you spread that around, and you give it to people whose level of discernment isn't that high, who takes whatever they see on media or social media or that the news says as evidence in chief, and they grab onto that. No, why are we falling for that? Why don't we love us enough not to continue to fall for it? We spoke about you talk about the Blacks, I mean, you talk about whites, you talk about the Jews, you talk about the Asians, you talk about all of them, but they've never fed in to any rhetoric that made them less than, right? They've never attacked their own people that literally fought on their behalf and questioned them and called them thieves and scams. That's never happened. And
I don't know if I would say it's never.
Well, I'm just saying I don't see it. Well, I'm just saying it's not.
Because
it's not
we have to be careful
see.
with saying never. We have to be, because I think especially when you talk about white people in general, there's been some, you know, there've been allegations of different things. So I can't.
I'm talking about the people, the leadership. I'm not talking about just billionaires and they saying, "Oh, you scamming."
No, because you got white people who are saying that Trump that he's no good, that he's a thief, that he's well, not a thief, excuse me, that he is a criminal. right? And they have taken a very strong position against him. And you got
They're taking a strong position against him because there's evidence that exists that shows it, right? Like there have been criminal charges waged against him. All of our, the shit that they said about us, there's never been there's no criminal charges.
Well,
right?
I mean, no.
No.
First of all, I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with the essence of what you're saying. I just think the way, in order for you to be able to explain it properly, we just have to be clear. They have brought charges against Black people, Black Panthers, certain individual leaders. They have brought charges against them as Black leaders, and people got behind that and they agreed. Most of the time it was unfounded, but it has happened. And I get your point is that with Trump, we know for sure that he actually did the crime, right? We know that. So I understand your point. I'm just saying that there are factions in every race where they are they condemn their own. But to your point, the way in which we do it and the ways in which we, who are people that are supposed to believe in the same things, and yet we find ourselves getting caught in condemning and sort of aligning ourselves, whether we realize it or not, with the very people that we all say we're fighting. That doesn't make sense. It's like they're those individuals who may be with like white folks, which is very broad. They're fighting against the people that Donald Trump is supported by and the mentality that he has. And so they are going to call him out. They're not going to start calling out people who they think are actually with them in the fight, even though they may not be doing things exactly how it should or how they feel it should be done. So it's like we just go with the flow. Not all of us, but some of us just go with the flow because we don't like somebody already. I already don't like you because I don't like my son. And then the next thing you know, we just become a part of the chorus with the same people.
Exactly. Like I'm not gonna mention your names, but you was going back and forth with somebody that we know, and you asked the person, like, why do you think they stealing? Where did you get this evidence from? And they said, well, it's been this and that. And they said, well, I'm sure if I look, I can find it. And your response was, the fact that you've already made up your mind before you even went to look, and you sure that you can find something, that means you already have a preconceived notion, and that's very dangerous. The fact that you haven't seen it, you don't got the evidence in your hand, you haven't been presented, but you already made up your mind that a person is guilty of something before you even seen it. That's where the issue is for me. I think that's what and that's what we do with our people. We in our community, as soon as somebody says you've done something wrong, that's all they need. That's like, and it'd be our own people. Like, I've had people turn on me and run around and turn people that I've stolen money and I'm doing all this. And then when they present it with the fact, they argue the facts. Like, no, he did do this. And you're like, no, that's not even his organization. He's not attached to that at all. This is his organization. This is what they do. This. And they be like, oh, nah, and then they so engulfed in that lie. They want to believe that negativity about you, somebody that they supposedly known and have been around their whole life. They want to believe that negativity so much that it hurts them to have to acknowledge that it's wrong. You understand? And that shit is scary to me. Like, that is so scary to me that our people will hold on to a false narrative about someone based off their own personal biases, even when faced with facts and evidence.
Yeah, my son, it really
absolutely. I just don't get it. It really bothers me. I don't get it at all.
It's a mental conditioning. It's a mental conditioning. We all have it. We all deal with it. It's a mental conditioning. And, once you are in the limelight, whatever the hell that means, once you have influence in a platform, you begin to see it and understand it different.
Way differently.
Very different. Very different.
Well, with that said, man, we've had another dope episode. Street Politicians, the #1 podcast. Keep tuning in. Give us your feedback. Tell us you love us. Tell us you hate us. Give us ideas for shows. Follow us on Instagram at Street Politicians Pod. We want to hear your feedback. We want to hear from you. We love you. Thank you for supporting us. You know, we're closing in on 2 years of this show.
Sure.
And it's moving and it's growing, man. For real. Like, y'all really growing with us, and we appreciate the support. We love the way that y'all love us, you know, and we take all feedback. We take all of the mad people running up to me like, yo, I listen to your podcast all the time, and it feels good, man. You know, so keep supporting us. We love y'all. I'm not gonna always be right. Tamika D. Mallory is not gonna always be wrong, but she's gonna be wrong a lot of the time, especially when she argues with me. But we will both always, and I mean always, be authentic.
Listen to Street Politicians on the Black Effect Network on iHeartRadio.
And catch us every single Wednesday for the video version of Street Politicians on iWomen.tv.
That's how we own it.